Hello and welcome to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver here, and
The cryptid known as Chaotic that never appears anymore.
we're back to some of our normally scheduled episodes of Monsters and Creatures.
Regularly scheduled is a loose term, but yes.
We try.
We
Life
try.
happens. So, we're talking about Selkies today, Chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Selkies?
Not entirely, no.
Well, we're kind of heading back to one of your favorite areas, as Selkies are more commonly seen in their mythological history around the Northern Ireland, Scotland, the Faroe Islands, the Shetland Islands, and another one of your favorite set of islands, the Orkney Islands.
Oh, lovely.
And also sometimes around like Norway and Iceland and that whole geographical region.
Mm-hmm.
So you know nothing of Selkies, right?
No, I know not. If I do, because the name sounds familiar, it's probably very minimal once you start telling me. And I did not do any research prior.
Selkies myths are usually kind of romantic tragedies
Mm-hmm.
or, romance against their wills at first stories, as Selkies are seal people.
Okay.
So they can be both male and female, but they're seals when they come to land. They can peel off their seal skin and they're human. They're usually beautiful people, but in these tales, if you find the Selkie dancing along the beach and you find their sealskin,
Mm-hmm.
you can take their sealskin and then they have to marry you.
I kind of hate that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. I don't know if it's the skin part that makes me uncomfortable or the forcible marriage part, but both are a little icky.
Yeah. So all the stories, a lot of them are a fisherman comes up, finds Selkie on the beach, sneaks around till they finds a sealskin and takes it. Then the Selkie keeps trying to get it back and eventually just ends up marrying the fisherman.
I love that.
But as well in these stories, the Selkies usually get their skin back, and then once they get their skin back, they leave for the sea and they can never come back to land.
Yikes. I don't know about that either.
They always wish to go back to the sea even when they're married.
Wow.
A lot of times they are leaving children as well, because they do can have children. They can have children with their fisherman husband, forced marriage. There's also some times where in the stories the Selkie actually does love the marriage and the children and everything, but as soon as she gets the skin, it's like a switch and she has to leave the sea.
Okay.
But that's not very often. That's usually the female Selkies. The male Selkies are a little different.
Okay, all right. I didn't realize that there was a gender role to be played. Hit me with it.
In the stories with the male, in the stories
The
with the male
Marylands.
Selkie,
Yep.
Marylands, in the male Selkie stories, they usually come to land and then they look for married women to have sex with.
Married women. So they have a type.
Yeah,
wow.
they have a
Why
type.
is theirs so different?
I'm not 100% sure. I was kind of wondering as well if maybe if you get a male Selkie skin, if they have to do the same thing, or if they don't follow those rules. Didn't find an answer.
The women are forced into marriage when you find their skin just laying around.
Yep.
You can force them to be seals forever, but the men just come and go sleeping with married women.
Yes, and you can also summon the men to you.
As a married woman?
Don't think you have to be married to summon them.
I bet they're disappointed.
Might be. But to do that, you have to cry exactly 7 tears into the sea.
Exactly 7.
Yes.
All right.
And the male Selkie will try and find you. There's also a small chance if you're around the Orkney Islands that it might be a finfolk and they'll just come capture you and turn you into a seal.
Ew, what the fuck? What is the deal? You're just risking your biscuit for 7 tiers?
Around the Orkney Islands, it's very possible it could also be a Nucla V. You never. Finfolk are a different monster.
I'm disturbed.
But 7 is also a reoccurring theme in the Selkie myths because there's several different ones where the Selkie have 7 children, and some stories the Selkie, when they get their skin back, they leave for 7 years, and they can come back every 7 years to kind of hang out and be with their children for a bit before they have to leave back to sea.
I feel the male, like that's, I'm genuinely curious. I wonder if anybody from that area listens to us. I would love to know if the men also have to get married if you find their skin. I really do. It feels like this is a bad trade off so far.
It does. I kind of wonder if it's like it's the Selkies culture where they have to get married if they take your skin, no matter if you're male and female, but no one actually takes the male.
I don't know though, because those men, the men versus women like rules don't seem. It
Yeah,
almost seems like a gender bias, which obviously in most lores it happens. Like it's whatever. But I'm just curious if it is just the women that have to suffer like that.
it'd be neat to know. I just all my material I found does not tell me. I don't understand the magic of the skin that binds you to who finds it. I mean, if you could get the skin and they just not care, I doubt that happened. Probably has some sort of magical ability.
Do you have a good story about the Selkies?
There is a couple of them, but they're pretty similar. They all pretty much go like this, where a lone fisherman going down by the water sees a bunch of dancing women along
Mm-hmm.
the beach having fun. He sneaks up on them and steals their skin, forces them into marriage. They end up having a bunch of kids, about 7 kids usually. Then, usually it's the youngest of the children, digging through dad's closet and chest, finds the skin after all those years and gives it to the mother, thinking that she'd want it as a present. Then the mother would just turn around and head out the door
Okay.
and just disappear into the ocean. Sometimes she goes darting for the ocean, passing the husband, where she would transform back into a seal in front of him and go out to the ocean.
I don't understand,
And
I guess, like, I guess out of everything that I've listened to so far, the like mother's relevance. Like, what does that have to do with, I guess, the Selkie part of it? Is it like,
so the Selkie got married and became a mother due to that fisherman.
oh, okay, okay. I was thinking this was just like a mortal mother.
There is the male Selkies if they impregnate a mortal woman. There's a story about that where the Selkie gets this lady pregnant while her husband is away on a long fishing trip.
Mm-hmm.
She gives birth, and the Selkie comes every so often, giving her money and such to take care of his child. Then, when the fisherman comes back and realizes she has a child,
Mm.
threatens to kill them.
Oh my god. Not the unalive.
The Selkie then comes and steals his child from the mother, and they go off to sea. The mother gives the Selkie baby a chain, a golden chain, and then a couple years later, the husband comes back with seal skins, and one of them has it in, like a marking of a golden chain on it.
Oh.
So, like, he actually did end up accidentally killing the child and the Selkie lover.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
Very much so. It was also said just to be bad luck in those areas to kill seals.
Mm-hmm.
It could cause like shipwrecks and such.
I mean, that's fair. There's probably a lot. Are they? So that's, I guess, a question I have. Do they run in like army amounts, or are they generally like singular creatures? Do they have like HUDs? Like, do they have groups?
Yeah, I imagine they probably all the stories. Usually, there's multiple of them at a time. Besides the males stories, there's usually one.
Mm-hmm.
But if the male Selkie's just catting around, They probably hang out in groups. What's a group of seals called? A group of seals is called a herd or a pod.
Okay.
So, like normal seals hang out in groups.
Okay.
So would the Selkies. I believe it's also the Orkney Islands and the Faroe Islands
Mm-hmm.
where only certain seals can be Selkies.
Okay.
They gotta be over a certain size.
Interesting.
Bigger they are, the more likely they're a Selkie. There is also a way to tell a Selkie baby from a regular baby or Selkie children.
Mm-hmm.
If you get Selkie blood in you, you'll have a condition where your digits are kind of together, like a
Oh, like webbed.
yeah, like webbed. Whether it's your toes or your fingers, and they say that it's due to a union of a Selkie somewhere in your in your bloodline. There's another story of a Selkie in the Faroe Islands
Mm-hmm.
where there's a really bad story. The Selkie chose to marry this fisherman,
Mm-hmm.
giving him her seal skin, and it was a real stormy night one night, and he was out at sea, and she was worried about him because see off in the distance his ship was in trouble. So in order to save him from dying at sea, she donned her seal skin in order to change to a seal and go out there and rescue him.
Mm-hmm.
But then she was not allowed to return back to human form.
That's toxic. This like there's so many rules to being a Selkie.
And it's not like all the rules are always the same.
Right. Like it varies. Like it's not like just like one standalone rule. It's just constant fucking chaos.
Yeah. I think that has the rules are based on the oral tales from the location they're in
Mm-hmm.
because they got so many different origins and it's all told through word of mouth. The telephone game changes things little by little. From what I kind of took away from the Selkies stories
Mm-hmm.
is it was a way people made up for either their wives leaving them or their husbands coming back and or their husbands finding their wife with another man at the beach
Mm. At the beach.
because of a Selkie at the beach, male
Right.
Selkies.
Yeah, I know. It was just very specific the way you said it. So I was just echolaling it. You were like at the beach.
It's also described as or possible that these Selkies in human form were washed ashore other people, like not from that area, like if they got stranded.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them seem to be Spanish, possibly.
Of course they do.
Oh yeah, that's all for really for the Selkie. Selkies are pretty fun and pretty well known.
They're like almost I know seals are their own thing, but like it's almost like a twisted kind of mermaid ordeal.
Yeah, yeah, they fit in that beautiful person that comes out of the water and has some sort of aquatic animal
Mm-hmm.
or animal wife type affinity. Are you ready to move on to media?
I am. I want to know what they're in.
So one that you might be familiar with is My Hero Academia.
Okay.
How far in My Hero did you get?
Um, I wish I had answers. I wish I had good answers. I watched the big bad. I watched just after the big battle with One for All.
Okay, so I don't think you made it to where they actually split up and took on their own apprenticeships.
Just barely. I saw that because I saw Deku's new suit that he makes with his
Mhm.
apprenticeship. So I did. I got just around there, but not like deep into it.
Well, Suyu and Uraka, they apprentice under Selkie, who is a marine hero. He is actually a seal, and he has all the abilities of a seal.
Kind of like Orca.
Yes,
Okay, but obviously Selkie.
I'll send you a gif of him. He tries to do a cute face all the time, and no one really thinks it works. But there's other kind of adaptations of Selkies besides that one.
Mm-hmm.
There is, from what I found, I've never seen any of these, but A Stranger Came Ashore, which is a 1975 young adult novel by Scottish author Molly Hunter.
Okay.
The Secret of Roan, which roan is another word for a selkie or a seal, which is a 1994 Irish American independent film. Selkie, a 2000s Australian made for TV film.
Okay.
There is Selkie from Blackbriar, which is a band. Selkie's a song, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of actually tells some lore of a Selkie. And Song of the Sea, which is a 2014 Irish animated film about a young boy who discovers his mute sister is a Selkie, who must find her voice and free the fairy creature from the Celtic goddess. There's also Selkies in Magic the Gathering cards.
I figured there was probably cards out there that had Selkies.
Yes. But yeah. And also a bunch of independent artwork and old art of them. And there is also, I found there is actually a statue, like a full size statue of a Selkie woman in the Faroe Islands in the city of Miklader, which has like a nice, it's like a copper statue. So it's like aged over. So it's kind of greenish. It looks cool. It's right at the ocean. So the water splashes against it.
Is that all of their media mostly?
Mostly that's about all I could find and remember off the top of my head. Also, randomly enough, when I was looking on Google Maps for this statue,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the same island in the Faroe Islands near the city of Miklader, just to north by the lighthouse, is the gravestone of James Bond.
Okay.
Apparently, it is from the 2021 movie they shot around that same island, so we might be able to see the statue in that film.
Okay.
But I am not 100% sure because I have not watched that movie. With that, would you like to move on to Mayhem?
Yes. Chaos. Mayhem. Whatever the fuck it is. That's a section we've been doing for like what? How many years now? one of these days.
We change it up so often as well, don't we?
Yeah. What do you think? I'm interested to know what you think, mayhem wise.
Mayhem wise,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're chill. I don't
I
think they
agree.
cause any issues. I think they just want to come to land and experience it. I think people is the issues.
They're the Little Mermaid. They just want to experience human things up top.
They're more Little Mermaid than the actual Little Mermaid.
True.
The males are kind of frisky though.
That's true. Well, I mean, I guess I more so meant the females.
Yeah, the females just want to chill and dance and just have a good time on the beach. You know where they could blend in really well though is
Mm-hmm.
nudist beaches.
I would agree. What like just the females though, or both of them?
Imagine both of them could probably blend in there well.
Yeah, I just didn't know with like the slight lore difference if you would place differently.
No, I don't think I would where they could blend in the best at. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like they have any sort of different bathing suits hidden underneath their skin,
Right, right. I mean, yeah,
unless they hid them on the shore somewhere. But yeah, I think they're pretty chill. They just want to hang out.
I agree. I don't think that there's much mayhem to be had. I think that they would accidentally cause mayhem, the men,
Yes.
because sleeping with married women tends to be frowned upon.
Yeah. It could also be a booty call.
Yeah,
Just go out to sea, cry 7 times. Because I'm sure there's probably some people are looking to sleep with the Selkie man coming out of the ocean. I wonder if the Selkie men, keep their skins underwater for some reason.
I don't know. They're just not available up on top.
I
Maybe
imagine
they
that
do
have
hide them.
to
I
work
don't
both
know.
ways.
You would think.
You cry, you get a Selkie man up there, you just steal his skin.
just steal it.
School wise, do you have any ideas in the school where you place them? In the university?
I don't really know. I like this. It doesn't really have like a skill base going on right now. Like it didn't give us like a specific set of skills. So I would say something safe like lifeguard or something, because they can swim. They swim well.
Yeah.
The only issue I think that we would have with that is when we come into contact with either the male lifeguards trying to sleep with married women at the pool, or if a little kid cries and accidentally summons a Selkie. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like their skill set is probably limited to swimming. So I feel like something in the pool is just the answer there.
Emotional support seal.
Yeah, emotional support seal sounds great, honestly.
That does sound like a good place for them. They could also be normal college students. Maybe they're taking humans 101.
I feel like that's fair.
Also, there's another thing I always wondered. So the Selkies need to get their skin back in order to return to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
How come people didn't just burn the skin? Would that kill the Selkie?
I feel like it would. I feel like it's an attachment to the Selkie, like permanently. Like if you were to burn that, then the Selkie could no longer exist. It feels like that, at least. Who knows?
It feels like that as well, since it has some sort of magical contract powers. And also it changes your shape. I guess that's it for Mayhem.
It was a very interesting subject to learn about. I'm not gonna lie. I was going into it expecting like aquatic mermaid-esque, and the seal skins have made it a little wild.
It's like some of the werewolf versions where you put on a wolf skin or a bear skin and can become that animal. So with that, I'd like to thank our patrons of Mondi, Ruby, Mage, and no podcast news this week that I'm aware of. Chaotic, do you have any news?
Bird and I's podcast will be coming out here in the next 2 weeks. We did post the book that we are reading as a group, which is nice. So if you guys would like to read along, that is in the Discord. Other than that, I cannot think of anything announcement-wise. Chaotic did get a job at a haunted house this year, so I'm going to have lots of fun and post lots of fun pictures. But yeah, that's about it. If you're in the central podcast area, if you have listened before and know where we're located, then you can come visit me at the haunted house, which would be fun. Come by and be terrified. Other than that, no, I don't have a whole lot of info.
All right, then. Thank you all for listening, and Chaotic with the outro.
Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Chaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends could affect modern-day society. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or almost any podcast service easiest to you. Dive into the depths of chaos with us every Wednesday, bar Silver and Chaotic not missing their scheduling, and consider joining the podcast Discord or Twitter, following even more insider looks and even some D&D sessions. If you'd like some extra special inside looks or even want to be a guest on the show, consider helping us via Patreon. Your help makes such a big difference to us both. Until next time, Mythics, you never know what kind of mayhem we might get into. No Chaotic with the outro. We're gonna make Super Mage record an outro, is what we're gonna do. He's gonna have an alternate outro, and every now and then we're gonna throw it in and test you guys to ask which outro you heard last.